Greetings, Champ Car Racers. Welcome to your virtual drivers meeting for the, and I'm going to read this so I get it right, TireRack.com Champ Car Endurance Series, HMSMotorsports.com Grand Prix. This is going to be the drivers meeting for the VIR race coming up, in case you weren't clear on what drivers meeting you were coming to. As usual, we would like to thank all of our sponsors, specifically Willwood Brakes, Frozen Rotors, Racing Radios, Lifeline Fire Suppression, RVA Graphics and Wraps, the Chandler School for sponsoring our Sportsmanship Award, and our class sponsors, Krispy Kreme, Discovery Parts, and MoneyShiftRacing.com. We always appreciate our sponsors and certainly want to take the time to say thank you to them. Okay, so the big thing right out of the gate. In case you were not aware, this is still 2020 and COVID is still a thing. With that in mind, so COVID, biggest thing for this race. 5 people on the team. I've been sending out several emails about this. Hopefully it's percolated out to everybody, but each team will be limited to a total of 5 people for the team in the gate to VIR. We've had to do this because the state has issued a 250 person max for the entire event. So the only way to make sure it's fair that every team gets an equal number of people is I had to put a limit on the number of persons per team. And that 250 limit includes the staff, me, everybody. Everybody that's there for Champ Car is counted to that 250. A couple of the teams, I just pulled the gate list a minute ago. A couple of the teams out there still only have one person, the team captain. So you need to get your crew members signed up. There's a couple teams out there, 2 specifically, that have over 10 people still signed up. So team captains, go and check your driver and crew lineup. I will pull the gate list from our registration system. It will pull registered drivers and registered crew members for your team, and those are the people who will be allowed in the gate. VIR security will cross-reference the team and the driver name specifically to the people on your roster in your car coming in the gate. If those people do not show up on your registration list, they will not be allowed in. So go in, edit your registration. Extra people, take them off. You have people that want to add, get them on there. So those of you that only have one, register your people. Get asked all the time, how do I get somebody on my registration list as either a driver or a crew member? They must be a member of the Champ Car Club. That means your person has to join Champ Car, pay their dues, and then join your team. Once they're on your team captains, you can pull them over into your roster for this event. If you've got questions, contact either me or Laura. Our contact information will be in the email that this video comes from, your driver's meeting, final information. So 5 people total on your team. Please remember that waivers need to be filled out. There's 4 waivers attached to the supplemental rules. The waivers will also be linked in this final information email. Fill those 4 waivers out in advance, hand them in at the gate. They'll have waivers at the gate, but it makes it go a lot faster if your waivers are filled out in advance and you just hand them over. VIR security will give you a wristband for the weekend. This is in addition to your driver or crew member wristband from us. This is a gate entry wristband. They will give you 1 per person till you get to your 5. You need to wear that wristband the entire weekend. If you take it off, lose it, or somehow or other get it taken off you, or somebody steals it in the back alley of a 7-Eleven, you're going to have to go through some issues with the gate trying to get another wristband again. So remember, your wristband from VIR and your wristband from Champ Car need to be worn the entire weekend. I know this is a little bit of an extra step, but again, this is COVID, guys. And if we haven't gotten used to the idea that things are different this year in COVID, then, stand by, because 2021 is probably going to be much the same. I will pull that registration list on Wednesday and send it over to the VIR security. So whatever you're going to do as far as getting your 5 people on your team, get it done before Wednesday. Because once I send that information over to the VIR security, that's it. That locks us in. Masks are required at the VIR event. They haven't given me a lot of real specific details. Some of the facilities, some of the clubs say everywhere, some exempt in your hauler or wherever else. All their information says is masks are required on the property. This should not be a surprise to anyone by now. Remember 2020, COVID, I'm sure we're all used to it. The best I can tell you is use common sense. If you're in a public area around other people, please wear your mask. If you're around somebody else that's wearing their mask and they're asking you to wear yours, just please be respectful of your fellow racers. If it's a problem for you, then please separate yourself from the group and alleviate the problem that way. Specifically on pit lane, everybody's going to be crowded down in there on pit lane. Please wear your masks on pit lane and please be respectful of your fellow racers. Okay, that's enough about COVID. That's plenty about COVID. Stuff we're going to cover right here. Paulie's laughing at me as I'm taping this. The stuff we're going to cover here today, some basic, simple driver's meeting stuff. If you feel you need a little bit deeper dive into anything I'm going to talk about, please log on to our website or follow the link in this final information email to our new to Champ Car video. Again, it's hosted in a sticked tab under the race events section. It's a pretty deep dive into pit lane, race procedures, how the race plays out, how we enforce rules and whatnot. So if you feel like I'm kind of brushing over anything here, please take a minute and watch that video. If you are new to racing with Champ Car, if this is your first time racing wheel to wheel anywhere, or you have never raced with Champ Car before specifically, you need to go over and watch that video. I highly recommend that you watch that video as a team. That way everybody on the team is getting the same information. We're going to breeze over some of this stuff a little quick here. So the gate entry times, start times, checkered flags, all that stuff is in the supplemental rules. We're going to adhere to those times. Remember that we go green on track, green flag on track at the start time. If you're wondering what that start time is, bounce over to the supplemental rules and read them there. See what I did there? That's how I get you to read the supplemental rules. Always still laughing at it. That's a good sign. All right, let's move on to pit lane and pit stops. Pit lane speed limit, 20 miles an hour. We've gone kind of up and down on the speeds over the years, but I've found that we have way fewer incidents at 20 miles an hour. That's 20 miles an hour on pit lane between pit in and pit out, 20 miles an hour. That's less than 2,000 RPMs in second gear if you don't have a speedometer. If you feel like you're making really good time on pit lane, you're going too fast. If people are giving you the evil eye and waving at you, yeah, they're not proud of you. You need to slow down on pit lane, 20 miles an hour. Everyone stops at pit in. Everyone stops at pit out. At pit in and pit out, there will be stop signs, a tent, and one of our staff members, either wearing one of our gray official shirts or an orange safety vest. They are there for your safety. Stop. Everyone stops at pit in. Everyone stops at pit out. Every race, somebody either blows pit in or blows pit out because they got confused or they thought they didn't need to, or they thought somebody was waving them by. It doesn't matter why you're coming in or why you're leaving pit lane. You stop. Whether you just did a full fuel stop and driver change, or whether you just got called in for black flag, or whether you came in because you thought the motor blew up and it turned out the windshield wiper was stuck, you stop at pit out every single time. When you stop at pit out, be prepared to show your driver wristband. That's our people's way of making sure that you're a registered entrant in the event. They will check your driver wristband. They will check for the safety decal on the side of your helmet. If you don't have a driver safety decal with a 2020 gear check sticker on it, and you get your gear checked while you're going through registration on Friday. They're going to look for those two things. Then they're going to check the safety equipment for you as a driver in the car. This is my giant liability statement here. It is you and your team's responsibility to buckle you, the driver, into the car properly. Our people are just doing a courtesy check, but it is your responsibility to buckle yourself properly into the car. If they see something they can correct quickly, little tab that has to go over something on your Hans device or something, they'll take care of that. If it's not, if it's something they can't fix or it's beyond their capability, they're going to turn you around and send you back to your crew. So it will save everybody a lot of time. You can make sure your driver is buckled in properly. A couple seconds on pit lane, you'll get it done right, can save you a huge amount of time at pit out trying to correct the problem. The number one problem we see at pit out is belts not properly positioned over the Hans devices or the windows not put up properly. Window net needs to be buckled in. They're going to give that thing a tug. So stop at pit out, be prepared to show that stuff, and they'll send you on your way. About pit lane, remember, if you take fuel, you must spend a total of 5 minutes on pit lane from pit in to pit out. That time is measured with a timer that we place on the car. If you haven't seen it yet, you'll be amazed. It's an incredible piece of technology. It looks exactly like a kitchen timer with a magnet on it because it's a kitchen timer with a magnet on it. They're going to pull that kitchen timer off. They're going to look at it. If you get a lightning fast pit stop and you manage to get fuel and your driver change done and you've still got like 2 minutes left on the timer, please do not send your car down to pit out with 2 minutes or a minute and a half or something like that remaining on the timer. We're just going to have to move you out of the way somewhere and wait for the 5 minutes to run out. If you show up down there with 10 or 15 seconds, it's not a problem. They'll pull the timer off. They'll give you a quick countdown. And please don't send your car down there and sit at pit out because we're just going to find a place to park you for a minute or so. So take that extra time and have a look around your car. Talking about fuel stops, I'll cover them again real quickly. Remember that it's considered a fuel stop if the gas cap comes off the car or fueling equipment goes over the wall. We're not really going to look for reasons to be breaking on you guys. Remember, my people were there to try and help you get through the race safely. But if you crack open the fuel system, that's the biggie. That's a fuel stop, and you must spend 5 minutes on pit lane. It doesn't matter whether you take a gallon or whether you take 15 gallons. You must spend 5 minutes. During that fuel stop, from the time the gas cap comes off to the time the gas cap goes back on and all the equipment goes back over the wall, everyone participating in the fuel stop, everyone over the wall, must be in full safety gear. This is the same stuff you would wear if you were driving. An SFI or FIA suit, socks, gloves, balaclava, full face helmet with the visor down. Balaclava, if you've got facial hair, it's required. The only thing we don't add to that, the only thing we won't specify is shoes. You can wear ordinary closed-toed lace-up shoes. We understand your driving shoes are expensive. They're not the best for wandering around on pit lane. But other than that, you've got to be completely in the same gear that you would wear as a driver. Have all that stuff on and in place from the time the gas cap comes off until the gas cap goes on, and all the stuff goes back over the pit wall. Remember, the 5 people are allowed over the wall. 5 total people maximum. Driver in, driver out. 1 person to help the drivers getting in and out of the car. 1 person handling fuel jugs, and 1 person with a fire extinguisher. A 10-pound ABC dry chemical fire extinguisher, charged with the pin pulled and ready to go. I want that person about 10 feet, call it 3 adult steps back from where the fueling is taking place, far enough away to where you can see a problem, recognize it, put the fire out if there is one, but not so close that you get caught up in it. Yes, our rules do allow a different type of fire extinguisher. Our rules do specify 2 kinds. If you don't know what that other kind is, look it up in the rule book, but it's a very, very specific type of fire extinguisher. And if you don't know what it is, you probably shouldn't be using it. So if you're curious, look it up in the rules. But if you don't know how to use it, you don't know what it is, 10-pound ABC dry chemical fire extinguisher. You need a drip pan, hard-sided, 3-inch hard-sided drip pan under the point where fueling is taking place while you're fueling the car. The person handling the fuel jugs, 1 jug over the wall at a time, no stacking equipment on top of the wall. Okay, so remember, driver in, driver out, someone to help the driver, 1 person handling the fuel jugs, 5-gallon jugs, 1 over the wall at a time, 1 person with a 10-pound ABC dry chemical fire extinguisher. I know I blew through that kind of fast, but this is just a driver's meeting. If you need more information on it, you want to dive a little more deeply, please bounce over and watch that new to Champ Car driver's meeting. It takes a little longer, but I go through the stuff a little bit more deeply. While I'm talking about pit lane, let me give a reminder, even on the cold side of pit lane, no open-toed shoes. Also remember that at this race specifically, most of the races in general, but specifically this race, no one under the age of 18 is allowed on pit lane. Okay, so no kids, no children, no strollers, nothing like that. No one under the age of 18 and no open-toed shoes on pit lane. All right, enough about that. Let's move on to some other things here for on-track behavior. Remember, our cautions are yellow flag rules. We use what we call line of sight rules. That means, simply stated, if you can see the caution flag, that caution flag is for you and you're under the control of that flag station. We do not race up to the flag. We do not race up to the flag station. Once that corner worker puts the flag out, everybody that can see that flag station is under the control of that flag at that flag station. Standing yellow, 70% race speed. That's 70% of your race speed, not somebody else's race speed, 70% of your race speed, which is still a pretty good clip. But the important thing is for a standing yellow or any yellow, no passing. The moment that flag comes out, the moment you can see the flag, the moment you're under the control of the flag, no passing. That means line of stern, nose to tail through the incident area. No riding alongside, no starting a pass. We don't do any of this stuff some other clubs do about when you completed the pass and when you initiated the pass. We want you nose to tail, line of stern as you go through the incident area. Period, hard stop, no second page. Overtaking is overtaking. I don't want you guys side by side. Standing yellow, 70% race speed. Waving yellow, 50% race speed. So the way it works is the moment you can see the flag, you're under the control of that flag station until you are past the incident and you can see the next flag station and see that the next flag station has no flag. Remember, in Champ Car, no flag is green flag. So you can see the next flag station and you can see there's no flag, then you can go back to racing. Okay, so you're under the control of the flag station from the minute you see that flag come out. 70% race speed with the standing. When you get into the next station where the incident is, it's going to be waving. You'll be 50% race speed there, nose to tail, no passing. Past the incident, you can see the next flag station. Then you can go back to green flag racing. That's how we run all of our events. Those are our standing rules. I get questions all the time. All right, standing yellow, waving yellow, no passing, 70%, 50%. Now, VIR. Hopefully, many of you have raced at VIR before, but I know we have a few new teams out here. VIR uses what they call the code 35 flag. Normally I'll do this in a live in-person drivers meeting and half of my people will raise their hands and get this joke. But all of my Formula One fans out there, I want you to think virtual safety car. And as soon as you hear that and you all start nodding your heads, you'll know what I'm talking about. For those of you who don't watch Formula One, maybe they'll grab a quick race between now and the weekend. But what it means is the entire field around the entire track is slowed down. This allows the rescue trucks to get in and out, service the incident, hook the tow, do whatever they have to do without having to deploy the pace car and take the extra time to bunch the field up. So the way it will work is a standing yellow will come out at every station around the entire track. That'll slow you down to 70%. In the incident area, it'll still be waving, but the whole track will go standing yellow. Then every flag station will deploy a purple and white flag with a big 35 in the middle of it. Want everybody to slow down to 35 miles an hour. This gets the whole field circulating. You all stay in position. There's no overtaking because you're still under a yellow. Everybody's circulating at 35 miles an hour. Everybody maintains their position. The safety trucks get in and out, and we take the whole field back to green. They'll withdraw the 35 flag, which will take you back up to 70% race speed. Then they'll withdraw the yellows, and you're back to green flag racing. This works really, really well, and it allows the safety trucks at VIR to get in and out quickly. I get asked all the time, what if it's a really, really long caution and field does inevitably start to bunch up and you get little pockets of cars? VIR can usually clear an incident so quickly that a car, any particular car on the track, does not end up making an entire lap around the track. That's how quickly they can clear it like this, because it allows them free flexibility to move anywhere they want on the track with safety. If we do have to deploy the pace car, because that's not something that's completely out of the question, if we do have to deploy the pace car, I'll put the pace car out as per usual. If you are the leader, please know you're the leader. If you see the double yellows come out, remember double yellow is the pace car coming out. Please look for the double yellows. If you're the leader, look for the pace car coming out. Please don't race my pace car, right? I know Bill likes to go really fast and he thinks he's a really good driver, but he is driving a Volkswagen bus, so cut him a break. Look for the pace car come out. If you are not the leader of the race and you see double yellows at the flag stations, look out your windshield and tell me what you see, because it should be another car. If you don't see another car, catch up to the field. When you look out the windshield under a double yellow flag, you should see the pace car if you're the leader. Otherwise, you should see the rear bumper of another car. Catch up to the field, please. The reason we have to put a pace car out is because an incident requires us to do some major recovery work on the track, whether it's repairs or happen to hook a couple of cars from a bad accident. We got multiple people out working on the side of the track. For whatever the reason, I need to bunch the field up so my rescue workers have a large area of clear track to work in. So if you're circulating around out there as your own independent pace car, you're just making the process take longer, because now the safety workers have to bounce back and forth between multiple packs of cars. So under a full course yellow, catch up to the field. If you're behind the pace car, be prepared, because I may slow the pace car down dramatically just to try and bunch the field up in one place. So I don't know how to say that any better. We have that almost every race we go to where we have multiple pace cars rolling around out there. If you're rolling around under double yellow and you look out your windshield and you don't see anything and the people behind you look really, really angry, you need to catch up to the field, okay? I don't know what else to say about that. Yes, you can pass the safety vehicles. Please pass them carefully. Please pass them respectfully. Look for some point buys. But yes, you can pass the safety vehicles if they are underway. That is all I have in my notes. And I'm hoping that if I missed anything, Paulie will raise his hand. He's giving me the good sign over here. He's shaking his head. So hopefully that means I didn't miss anything. If you've got any questions about it, please review our new to Champ Car video that I mentioned before. If you've got other questions, please read the supplemental rules. Please read through our event rules. And if you run out of places to find your answers, please contact Bill Strong. And Bill will be laughing because I should be saying me. But yes, reach out to Bill Strong because he loves to talk. So anyway, thank you guys very much. I know this COVID event is going to make this race really, really challenging, but nonetheless, we're looking forward to it. I hope you guys have a really great time, and I hope we can wrap the year up here on the East Coast with a good bit of success. So thank you. Travel safe to the race, and I'm going to sign out. Thank you.